Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double-up game together with JDPL Grillo. Poor Grillo has not played as many double-up games as me in this set, so he still has the silver borders while I have the emerald ones. And almost everybody in this game is in emerald rating. In any case though, in this game we're going to look at a unit that I really haven't talked much about in this set, and that is Nomsy. Nomsy back from the Dragon set, set 7. And in addition to that, we're also going to look a little bit at the Hunter trait because this ended up being a Hunter team composition. Now here on the initial portal, we both went over to the 3-cost champion option. I always like starting with a 3-cost champ. It gives you a little bit of direction. But of course, as always, most of the other players have run to the high loot option. So we're going to get the Scuttle Crab option again. That's just going to drop a disgusting amount of loot in this game. Couple words about the bigger direction of this set as we are here in set 12. So I had not played Teamfight Tactics in almost 2 weeks before we did this game, and we did this game on the first day of a new patch. The gameplay got really stale because for basically the first 6 weeks of the set, everything was like 2-cost reroll or some variation of 2-cost reroll. First we had Syndra, and then we had Ari, and then we had Kog'Maw, and then we had Kassadin, and just everything was 2-cost reroll. And that got really boring really fast. This is essentially the mid-set update. They're not calling it that, but this is essentially set 12.5. Now, there are no longer mid-set updates, but it's basically set 12.5 because the developers made a ridiculous amount of changes. As they always do, they reworked about a dozen units. They reworked about 5 or 6 traits or something like that. They just made change after change after change after change. Now we have golden frying pans in addition to golden spatulas to play around with. So a lot of changes here in this one, and that's why we're back and we're playing this on the first day of the set to try and see if it's going to be at all interesting to play through. Now, as far as the game goes, I did not have any particular direction right now. I was just trying to grab champions and see what I have. About the only thing that's interesting so far is I have randomed my way into a 2-star Nomsy. And as it turns out, Grillo over there also randomed his way into a 2-star Nomsy as well. And so I wasn't planning on playing through Nomsy in this game or anything like that. But it turned out that it made sense for me to go in that direction because I kept seeing so many Nomsys. Anyway, I looked at the different options here. I wasn't really interested in any of these other things. I believe I just took Exiles, and just ended up taking Exiles here. And I have found some stuff that's kind of useful. I thought maybe that I'd play a little bit into Frost trait here because I did get the initial Warwick, and Twitch is a Hunter who has Frost trait, synergizes with Nomsy, who's also a Hunter. But that doesn't quite play out. Yeah, Grillo actually has 4 Nomsys over there. So just like that, I go to 6 Nomsys, and I was like, okay, I wasn't planning on playing through Nomsy. I've never played through this unit before, but I might as well take advantage of it if I'm going to get this many Nomsys. Now, the sad thing is I don't have any items here for Nomsy, but I can go ahead and look to put some frontline items on this Shyvana here. I will go ahead and play the Shyvana together with Nomsy. That's going to put Dragon trait in play, so we'll go ahead and do that. I have Hunter trait in because I have the Kog'Maw, so I have both of Nomsy's traits in play. Nomsy is Dragon plus Hunter. And then I've randomly found a 2-star Jace as well, so I might as well play that because if I'm going to play Shyvana, I want to play at least somewhat into Shapeshifter trait, and Jace will provide that for me. So that's how I end up with the board I have here, even though it feels kind of weird and not something that I was playing. And then look at this, 2 more Nomsys in the store. So I was like, all right, well, I have 8 Nomsys already, and Grillo has a Nomsy sitting on his bench. So in like 4 rounds, we're guaranteed to have Nomsy 3-stars. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to hit Nomsy 3-star this easily, then I've got to play through this unit. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll do a 4 Hunter game. It's the only thing I could think of is like, all right, I'm going to have 3-star Nomsy. So we'll do like 4 Hunters plus 3 Dragons and like play a little bit into the Frost trait. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with these items, and I decided, all right, I'll go ahead and make some frontline items. I can always item remover these off of Shyvana later, and in fact, this is one of the other big changes in this, what is effectively a mid-set update, is the game is now drowning in item removers. You might have noticed I already have double item removers here. One came out of a charm, and one came out of a minion round. There's actually a new mechanic here in this updated 12.5 or whatever we want to call it. Every time that there is an end of stage minion round, so 2 what is it on like 2-7 or 3-7 or 4-7, if you don't have an item remover, you get one for free. So you will just be getting item removers out the wazoo in this game now. And it's a big change. Like, it's a very big change from how TFT has been played, because you've always needed to be very careful about what items you put on what units, because once you put an item on a unit, you can't get it off. But they've decided that that was too punishing, and I can understand the logic, because, like, it was always kind of frustrating where, like, you'd want to put your items on a unit that wouldn't stay on your team long term, which is kind of weird and counterintuitive. So they decided to solve that by just making it so you get constant item removers. So more than ever before, there's incentive to slam your items onto units, because you can get them off very easily. And there's no reason not to put items on units right now. So definitely don't sit there with 7 components on your bench. Now that you're going to get item removers constantly, there is no excuse not to make use of them. All right, anyway, so far we've been win streaking. Grillo is going to play a heavy shapeshifter board. He's already gone up to 4 shapeshifters here. And that's a little bit unfortunate, because we're going to have some overlap in our comps, because I need to play Shyvana for Nomsy, and he's going to need to play Shyvana for his shapeshifter board. So we do have some overlap in our team comps, which is not great for double up, but so far so good. We are win streaking here. Pretty happy with that. I'm also pretty happy if I can get this sword here. There's a sword on a Cogmaul. Remember, I'm already playing Cogmaul, and I had a leftover glove on my bench. Now, I wasn't quite sure what to do in terms of itemization for Nomsy. I really have not played this unit before, so I looked it up. And the suggested itemization was Nomsy's basically an AD caster. What that means is you want Nomsy to hit really, really hard when she uses her ability, and attack speed is not as significant. So Infinity Edge is good, Last Whisper is good, Shojin is good so that they cast more often, but attack speed is not as relevant for the way that their ability works. So it's not that, like, putting a red buff or a Rage Blade is necessarily bad, it's just that they don't get quite as much value from that as some other units do. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out what else I can play on this board, and I was like, all right, well, I am playing Shapeshifter trait. I think the best I can do is just stick this Elise on here. Not that Elise is going to do much, but I'm on full win streak, so I want to try win streaking here. And, you know, Elise, she's actually tanked the enemy team for about almost 10 seconds now. Yeah, she stood up there and tanked for a full 10 seconds, so that was worth leveling and putting in that unit, if nothing else. Now, I probably still win this fight anyway. Can I win before the reinforcing player comes in? Yes, just barely. And with that, we'll still work to get back to 20 gold. So yeah, it was worthwhile to play her, because I'm pretty sure I do not maintain win streak if I don't end up playing her there. All right, I will also pick up additional Cogmauls. I'm already on 4 Cogs. Now, the odds of hitting 3-star Cog if I'm not going to stop and reroll are not super high, but, you know, it's double up. You never know what can happen. Grillo might be able to find some Cogmauls for me, or he might just hit a long run of Cogmauls. I believe someone else in this lobby ends up playing Honeymancer, though, and takes Cogs out of the pool, and then I don't end up seeing as many as I might have thought. So that is another trait that ended up getting pretty popular. They reworked how the Honeymancers work, how the bees on the Honeymancers work. They actually made them a lot stronger overall. So for at least this patch, we're going to be seeing a lot of people playing the Honeymancer units. I'll probably try to see if I can get a game playing Honeymancer, but we'll have to see. As far as this round goes, I really want to beat this Frost board. If I can win this, then I'll stretch out my win streak to the full 5 rounds, and I am able to do that. That's excellent. That's worth so much economy to do that. And then if I can win this round, Grillo will also be on full win streak, and it looks like together we have enough there. So there we go. Full win streak for both of us. That's always the best possible way to start on a double up game. Anyway, we have a minion round here, so while we're on the minion round, I'm going to go ahead and cover specifically what Nomsy does. I mentioned that Nomsy is an AD caster, essentially. Her traits are Dragon and Hunter. Ability is called Fiery Sneeze. It costs 50 mana. Sneeze fire at the target deals physical damage. 50% of overkill damage is done to the closest 2 targets. So that's an interesting aspect. So just hits for physical damage, but if you overkill the target, the extra damage splashes onto the next closest units. So you can see why, like, Infinity Edge would be really good on a unit like this, because you want that damage to crit, overkill the target, and then splash onto the others. So it makes sense. Now, since Nomsy is the Dragon trait, Dragon 2 is what we have in right now. Dragon 2 just means that the attacks and abilities burn and wound enemies. So that's not quite as significant. By the way, as you see the Nomsy 3-star come on over here, and I also get a Swain, so I'm going to level and look to play, I think I play the 4 shapeshifters here. I do have sense enough to put the Elise on the board, right? Yeah, there we go. 4 shapeshifters is significantly better here than a Twitch that doesn't do anything. Anyway, but you can get the idea. The way that oversplash damage works is you want to, it doesn't hurt to overkill the target. I'm also looking if I want to reforge something here. I think I end up reforging the cloak. I get another glove, so that's not bad. I would like to make Last Whisper, just because there's that innate crit synergy. I also did think about making Steadfast Heart, but I decided, no, I'll try to make Last Whisper. We'll put this on Nomsy. Now, as getting to the dragon bonus, as I said, dragon's a very unusual trait here in set 12. There's only 3 dragon units, and they come at the 1, 2, and 5 cost tier. You have Nomsy a 1 cost, Shyvana a 2 cost, and then Smolder is a 5 cost. So you only have 1, 2, and 5 cost units. So most of the, and by the way, this is super sad because the cast and reinforcing player is literally on top of Nomsy. If that reinforcing unit comes in basically anywhere else on the board, Nomsy just kills them. So I lose my win streak in really stupid fashion there. Anyways, I said most of the game you'll be on Dragon 2, and I'm going to take the Epoch option here because I just want to get to a higher level, and I didn't see anything else that I particularly cared for. Dragon 3 will not, of course, pop up until the very end of the game. And Dragon 3 will allow you to, it gives additional abilities to the units. By the way, here I'm going to send the 2-star Jace over to Grillo. So that means I'm going to shift from the 4 Shapeshifter over to 4 Hunter. And I do think that that makes my board weaker, by the way. I think that my board is definitely weaker now, but Grillo definitely needed, he definitely could benefit from the Jace because he's playing the Shapeshifter board. And I do want to go to 4 Hunters eventually anyway, at some point. I'm also going to save my Epoch rerolls for the moment and just rely on the fact that Nomsy's 3-starred to get me through the mid-game. I want to get up to level 8, and then on level 8, I'm going to try to find Olaf, and maybe if I'm play 4 Hunters Olaf, and then if I'm lucky, maybe I'll be able to find the Smolder. So speaking of Smolder, as I said, you won't get Smolder until the end of the game, barring something really weird happening with like augments or portals or something. But Smolder is the 5-cost dragon. He's been pretty underpowered the whole set. And what Smolder specifically does is he upgraded to the abilities of all the dragon units. At Dragon 3, all your dragon units gain additional benefits to their abilities. This is not a trait that you can get out of like I was going to say Tome of Traits, but they've been eliminated from the game. It's not something that you can make with a spatula or a frying pan. So for Nomsy's specific upgrade is her Fiery Sneeze deals additional damage. And the overkill, when you overkill a target, it now hits 4 people instead of just 2. So that's a pretty nice bonus. I also find a Fiora here, which is going to be pretty nice for Grillo's board. He's planning on playing into the Fiora with his Shapeshifter board. And that makes a lot of sense. You can pick up Witchcraft, and then if you can find like one other warrior unit, that'll be a pretty good setup for him. He actually has Gwen holding like random items at the moment over there because he found a random Gwen. So anyway, long story short, we can make the Nomsy a lot stronger if we can find Smolder later on. And Smolder's not Smolder's a 5-cost. Smolder's been pretty underpowered thus far throughout the set, but 5 costs are like never bad units to play. So definitely we'll try to find that unit later on. And then of course Shyvana will stay on the board. I do plan to transfer Shyvana's tank items off of her and onto someone else as the game goes on. Anyway, so now I'm up against this other team here, and you can see I've started losing rounds here. This is not surprising. I would have expected my board to start to fall off a little bit, but the other reason why is, as I said, I did downgrade the quality of my board when I moved out of the 4 Shapeshifters, but just I can't play 4 Shapeshifters here. Grillo is trying to play 6 Shapeshifters. There's no way I can also play 4 Shapeshifters. I have to move to a different setup, and that's what I'm going to be looking to do here. Now, I'd really like to get the Cogmaw there. That would be another Cog, and it would be Last Whisper for me, but that's not an option. So with that in place, I'll just look to go ahead and take another frontline item here. Could look to make like a Bramble Vest, but that's gotten nerfed pretty good over the recent patches, so I'm not going to look to do that. I think I just make the Sunfire Cape instead. Sunfire Cape's a little bit wasted here because dragon abilities already burn the target, but the Sunfire Cape, still a decent item. I just don't like making Bramble Vest. It's not really that strong in the current setup here. But overall, I'm just econing, just trying to get up to a higher level, and then I'll use my free Epoch rerolls. So I've gone full win streak into like full loss streak here, which is not bad in terms of like sequencing purposes. And I'm going to go ahead and put this Hui on the board just because I would like to get Frost Trade in play. Again, my biggest issue right now is my front line's awful. I have a 1-star Shyvana and a 1-star Swain with Shapeshifter 2 in. Like, Nomsy would actually be quite good at killing things if I just had stronger frontline, but I do not have stronger frontline. And as I said, we banked so much health in the early game that it's actually okay to lose some health here. Like, close losses are not the worst thing here because they do feed me more income, and they also allow me to, well, as I said, continue to just like sit here win streaking or loss streaking, excuse me. So anyway, I thought for sure I was going to lose to the Honeymancer player. They already have a 3-star Ziggs over there, but no, apparently Nomsy still wins anyway. So it's like, oh, okay, I thought we were loss streaking here, but I'll take it. I really did not think I was going to win that. And then this round, it looked like Grillo was going to lose, but Nomsy was not touched in the back line. And Nomsy apparently just did a ridiculous amount of damage, so okay. Yeah, it turns out that 3-star Nomsy with 4 Hunter and 2 Dragon in, that she actually does an awful lot of damage. So while we're just kind of killing time here, let's cover the Hunter trait, just because that is kind of the featured trait in this video. This is a very basic trait. It provides AD. Here's the description. Hunters gain attack damage increase the first time they gain a takedown each combat. That's a kill or assist. So they gain raw AD, and then after they get a kill or assist, they gain more. So you can see again why Infinity Edge is like a really good item here is you're getting lots of AD from the trait, and then Infinity Edge allows that damage to crit. And so you can kind of spike it. And remember, Nomsy's ability has that overkill thing. So as you overkill units, she splashes damage onto other units. So like you're not wasting damage by having her crit for like a huge amount of damage on a target that's nearly dead. That's actually really good if that happens, unlike what happens with normal units. Let's see if it works here against the Galio. Yeah, we were able to hit the Galio, and then with Nomsy's ability, it killed the unit and then splashed a lot of extra damage onto other targets. So yeah, having some pretty good luck with that. And yeah, Nomsy, Nomsy apparently just carrying my board here. So we're going to win that round as well. Again, my whole board is 1-stars aside from Nomsy. I really did not think I'd be winning these. Unfortunately, Nomsy was not quite able to win that one. Can we beat the Cog? Yes. Ha. Okay. Apparently random Gwen on a shapeshifter board for the win there. So Grillo and I are able to win a couple more rounds. And again, I'm just using my Epoch Augment, which grants you... What is it? It grants you additional rerolls. It gives you, XP for the next couple rounds, and then also gives you additional rerolls. I'm just going to save them for use on level 8. I am doing something that's kind of dumb though. Remember, I have the Exiles for my Silver Augment, and note where Hui is standing. He's been standing next to Twitch and Jinx for the last couple rounds, so I am not getting the shield from my initial Augment on them, and I think it takes me a few more rounds before I figure that out. So that was kind of dumb. Didn't make a lot of sense to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and sell a bunch of these units. I also do get double Nikos, so if I can find one more Nico, I could send that to Grillo for a Nico 2-star. Because remember, he's playing a Shapeshifter board. I also have a Nasus over here, so I could potentially just send the... Oh, he wanted the Fiora, that's right. And then I think I asked him, do you want me to save Nico or save Nasus? And I believe he said save the Nasus here. So we were communicating, and then I did, oh, never mind, that must have been later on in the game. And then I'm trying to get my board in play. I'm going to find an Olaf. That technically takes me up to 5 Hunters, which doesn't actually do anything for me. And now I'm using my free rerolls here. I'm not finding a ton thus far. I did find another Fiora, so that's something else I could potentially hold for Grillo's board over there. But I did find an Olaf, which is one of the things I most wanted to find. Now, I do need to make some more tweaks here because I'm on an awkward 4 Frost 5 Hunter, which is not really going to do a whole lot. Olaf is a unit that was very heavily buffed in this patch too. They dropped his mana cost from 80 to 50, and they increased his damage. So he was one of the weaker 4 costs, but like that was definitely too big of a buff, and he's probably one of the strongest 4 costs now. He hasn't completely like dominated the metagame, but he's definitely very strong, and it's a major reason why Frost boards are quite strong at the moment. In any case, we are going to get one more augment here, and I still have another reroll that I have to use, plus all this extra gold. I'm looking at the different options. Reinforcement would not be bad here, but I already found one Olaf, so I don't think that that's quite it. I was thinking strongly about Little Buddies, because I am playing a mixture of high and low cost units, but then I see that there's You Have My Bow, and I really need a Last Whisper on Nomsy, so I just end up taking this, and the attack speed is not going to be bad on my units. Remember, Hunters get AD from their traits, so because they get AD from their traits, it's not bad to get something that gives them additional attack speed. They innately get AD anyway, and it's not bad to be getting attack speed from some other source. All right, so, okay. I ended up selling the Nasus. I thought that Grillo wanted me to hold that. Well, he's going to send me an Olaf. I was hoping I could hit the Olaf 2-star here. And now now that I hit the 2-star Swain, I'm going to go ahead and swap my tank items over to Swain. Swain is a better holder of these items anyway. Once again, I'm still not positioning for Exile's value. Swain's a better holder of these items anyway because he is more of a pure tank. Shyvana is more of like a mixture of damage and tankiness, so she is going to deal more damage than Swain, but like he will actually stand up there and tank a little bit better. Now this fight's all about can we kill 3-star Kassadin, and apparently yes. Now that I have the 2-star Swain, he's going to stand up there and tank long enough, and now Nomsy's going to get off her last sneeze and just pop that unit. And now I'm back on like a winning streak again, which feels really random. It does not feel like I should be win streaking at this point in time. By the way, Grillo has also found a Smolder over there. So he found this, he sent me the, what did he send me? He sent me the Olaf, and then like literally the next round, he found the Smolder, and we were like, that's disappointing. Because I could have had Smolder in there. I'm playing Varus for the moment. Varus gives Blaster together with the Hui, but I would prefer to have Smolder on my board if possible. And Grillo's actually going to play Smolder himself because he's running Shyvana as well. And now we finally have 2-star Shyvana. Also, look at this. Oh, new charm. Gain a frying pan. Gain a frying pan. I was like, do I want to spend the 15 gold on this? It is quite expensive. Now, the frying pan is the new spatula thingy. Very precise language there, spatula thingy. So obviously we've had spatulas around basically forever. The frying pan is basically another version of the spatula, but whereas you get, you can make 8 traits with the spatula, you can make 8 different traits with the frying pan. I was like, I don't even know if I can make something useful with this because, again, this was the first day of the patch. I did not know what the frying pan options were, like what this could turn into, but I was like, I can probably make something with this. So I just go ahead and take this anyway. There is a little interesting tidbit. So 2 spatulas is a tactician's crown, 2 frying pans is some other tactician's thing, and if you have 1 spatula and 1 frying pan, you get a 3rd tactician's item, and they all do the same thing. They're all +1 team size. They have like some very minor 10% chance to drop gold, but the main thing that they all do is they all provide +1 team size. The other interesting thing with the frying pan, though, is if you reforge a frying pan, it becomes a spatula, and if you reforge a spatula, it becomes a frying pan. So you can swap one into the other if you want, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, over there, Grillo went ahead and hit the 2-star Fiora, so I could sell that. And then look at the options for what I can make. Mage, multi-striker, Hunter. Hunter is a makeable trait with the frying pan, and the recipe is frying pan plus sword. So I was like, okay, you know, if I can just now get a sword here, because like I could also do shapeshifter, but like that's not quite as good. I don't think any of the others make sense. But if I can get a hunter, if I can get a sword now, I can go ahead and make a hunter emblem. And then I would be able to play 6 hunters, which would be really, really strong. I did hold a Jinx on my bench just in case I would somehow get +1 hunter from like a carousel, or as I said, now the frying pan option. So I was like, okay, I think that's the plan is let's see if we can get the sword, try to play 6 hunters. And then after that, see if we can look to get Smolder on the board for 3 dragons. And in fact, Smolder would be the best possible person to turn into a hunter, because then Smolder's ability, then Smolder would just get absurd amounts of AD to go along with his ability. By the way, there's another Jinx, so I'm going to roll a little bit here. Again, I'm really just trying to find one more Olaf. One more Olaf, I think I would be stable to go level 9. Once again, yes, I'm aware I'm still not using the Exile's benefit here. Now, there's an Olaf over on Grillo's board, but I kind of would prefer that he send me a Smolder, because I really do need Smolder. So I'm just continuing to chill here, still not getting Exile's benefit on my back line. But I do think that my board is reasonably solid here, and it's going to spike super hard if I can get 1 Smolder and then get a sword to make this Hunter emblem. My past self is highlighting this. You can see very briefly the amount of AD that you get from Hunter trait, but I'll just read it again because it went by really fast. It mostly doubles the benefit after take. Well, I guess it doesn't double the benefit after takedown. They've adjusted these numbers. Hunter 2 is 15% flat AD. After you get a kill or an assist, the unit goes up to 35%. Hunter 4, which I'm playing right now, is 45 flat, goes up to 70%, and then Hunter 6 is 70% AD, 110% after you get a kill or an assist, plus a bonus 20% attack speed. That is very, very strong. Getting 110% attack speed, or 110% raw AD on 6 units, plus attack speed, that's an awful lot of damage. And there we go. There I hit the 2-star Olaf naturally. So as soon as I see that, I was like, all right, now I think I'm cleared to go to level 9. I think my board is stable enough here. I have lost a couple rounds recently, but Grillo's going to be able to send me the Smolder soon, and that's going to be a big spike. And again, if I can just get a sword to drop from this minion round, it is the Scuttle Crab portal, so we get disgusting amounts of loot, like way more loot than you get in a normal game here. So the odds to get either anvils or component sword are pretty high here. So let's see what pops out. Come on, sword. And then immediately a sword pops out. I'm like, oh my god, this is absolutely perfect. Along with an absurd amount of loot, as mentioned before. You get so much loot. So now I don't have to worry about pulling a sword at like 50-50 odds out of that anvil. Now I've just got the sword to begin with. So we're going to go level 9. And let's go ahead. We need to get Jinx on the board. And now we need to make the frying pan. So that is sword plus pan. First time I've ever made something with one of these. And now we can, now I really do need to reposition for Exile's value. I just kind of forgot about that in this game. And I'm going to continue trying to pick up units here for Grillo's board as well. I am level 9, and I do have some extra rerolls, because remember, I had that Epoch trait that gave me the extra rerolls. So now what I really just need is Smolder. The good news is it turns out that there was a sword there anyway. But we'll go ahead and take the glove, and then now we can Thief's Glove somebody. And I believe I end up putting this on the Shyvana, if I remember correctly, because what I really do need the most right now is Frontline. But there you go. There's the 6 Hunter. Now if we can just get the Dragon, just get Smolder in here so we can get Dragon 3. Oh, and by the way, I still need another item to put on Nomsy there. Nomsy still just has 2 items. Could definitely be stronger if I could get a 3rd item. Unfortunately, that board was able to win even though they're on 1 HP. And there we go. There's just a Smolder right away. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, time to remove that Varus off the board. We don't need the Varus anymore. We'll just put Smolder on there. And now we'll turn Smolder into a Hunter. So let's just go ahead. I really do not need Varus anymore. There we go. Back to 6 Hunters. Now we have the 3 Dragons. And there we go. Now the Thief's Glove on Shyvana. And that's pretty big. As I said, I just needed more Frontline. Could also look to, now I also have a 2-star Nasus over here, so I could send Grillo either a 2-star Nasus or a 1-star Briar, and I was like, just let me know which one of these you want. And I think it took a couple rounds for him to realize what he wanted. Also, I'm continuing to not get Exile's benefit. I think by this point in time in the game, I just forgot that I had this, which is really a waste. I mean, it's nice to get that shield, especially on some of the other units in the back there. But yeah, now that we have Smolder, Nomsy does quite a bit more damage. I think Nomsy does like 30% more damage on her ability. And it also splashes the damage. Remember, if Nomsy overkills a target, now it splashes the damage to 4 targets instead of splashing it to 2, which is some pretty good AoE damage in here. All right, now we also have Smolder on the board. So Smolder also got a pretty big buff in this patch. They dropped Smolder's mana cost a lot as well. They dropped Smolder's mana cost down to 40. Smolder is basically Aurelian's Soul back from set 3, from those who remember the science fiction space set. It's basically the same thing. Smolder just flies around and just attacks the nearest enemy. His ability is gain attack speed and replace Smolder's attacks with fireballs that deal damage for the next 6 seconds. Dragon upgrade is the fireballs also heal, so Smolder also heals off the damage as well. So anyway, what I'd most like to get on Smolder is attack speed. I would love to get a Rage Blade. Rage Blade's like considered to be one of his best items because he attacks a lot, and the more he attacks, like the faster his attack speed is, the more of those fireballs that he's shooting out there. He's also getting like 110% AD from his trait as soon as he gets a single kill or an assist. So he's got all the attack damage he needs. What I really just need is some more attack speed for him. So I was kind of hoping there'd be something related to that. There's actually a Smolder on the carousel, but that gets snapped up really quickly. There is also a Deathblade here. But again, Deathblade's not that valuable on people playing heavily into the Hunter trait because you already get tons and tons of AD. So it's actually much better to go ahead and grab this Infinity Edge because that will allow whoever I put it on's damage to crit. Good targets would be both Olaf and Smolder, but I believe I end up putting this on Smolder because I think Smolder is a little bit safer than Olaf, if that makes sense. Olaf does have a tendency to kind of run into the middle of the enemy team and commit suicide. So I think it's actually better to put this on Smolder overall. Also, and now if I could just be smart enough to get the Exile's benefit from rearranging these various units. Anyway, you probably saw last round the 2-star Olaf came over from Grillo. Grillo had just randomly found a 2-star Olaf, so he sent that over to me, and now we're really close to hitting the 3-star Olaf. Because like he's got another Olaf over there as well. So if we cycle around to that, then I can potentially, I'd only be one Olaf away from that. And again, I'm still asking him, I was like, Grillo, what do you want? And he ended up saying he would take the Briar. So he is going to end up taking the Briar. I was like, do you want 2-star Nasus or 1-star Briar? And he would end up taking the Briar over there. I believe that we've also been feeding some health to Briar as well. I haven't been watching our health bar quite as closely, but if you're going to play an 8 shapeshifters board, Briar is one of the big carries. Anyway, now that we've got, now that we have the 6 hunters, we've got, most of the board upgraded. Now we're just kind of toasting people pretty heavily here. The six hunter 3 dragon smolder with a hunter emblem and an infinity edge is hitting pretty hard. Also note literally the next round I get a Briar in my store, and now I'm going to animate my shop. I'm going to take another Olaf. That gets me to 8. I only need one more, and Grillo has another one, so it's like, can we just find one more? Or if I could get a champion duplicator, that would be 3-star Olaf as well. And there's another Briar, and I'm going to get the gift round here. I think I get some components. Yeah. I get some components, so I'll just have to stash these on somebody here. I've got a rod and a cloak. Now, I don't really have much use for a rod, so I think I end up reforging this. I was hoping I'd get like a sword. That could be Bloodthirster. That would be pretty nice. Or even like a bow for rapid fire for a hurricane. I could put that on Nomsy. Instead, I get the pieces for an adaptive helm, which is not what I want at all. Probably should have just slapped this on somebody. I could have put it on Nomsy or Olaf. Like, it's a bad item on them, but better than just having it sit there not being used. So yeah, I don't really get much use out of this. Again, my board is just kind of blowing everything up. The front line is not amazing. Probably my biggest weakness is the front line's not great, but it's hanging in there long enough, and 6 hunters really do an awful lot of damage. Meanwhile, Grillo's board is so insanely tanky that the other teams are not being able to get through him. He has 8 shapeshifters. There's another smolder, by the way. If I can get one more smolder, that would also be really strong. So 8 Olafs and 2 out of 3 smolders. I'm really close to being even stronger here. As I was saying, though, Grillo managed to make 8 shapeshifters. He actually did the exact same thing I did. He also got the charm that gives you a frying pan, and he used it to make shapeshifter emblem because shapeshifter is one of the ones you can make with it. He used it to turn Morgana into a shapeshifter. So he has 8 shapeshifter Morgana over there. That, again, feels pretty strong. He's also going to get more disgusting amounts of loot here, which is honestly not as quite what we want. This one is mostly tank items, so that's not quite what I'm looking for here. So I'll take the extra Sterix, and I think I give that to one of these other units. And then finally I can finish itemizing the Nomsy. I'll go ahead and do that. The Sterix, I'll just put on Olaf. Again, I don't love it, but I didn't really see anything else. Now I'm using my free rerolls here. I'm just looking for one more Olaf in particular. I'll also pick up Cogs, because why not? And we'll keep rolling here. I've already picked up a nice charm that's going to stun the enemy team at the start of combat. One more smolder. Can we get one more smolder? I'm seeing 5 costs, but not the smolder. I also do get up to 8 cogs, so maybe I'll finally hit that. I've had a Thief's Glove on cog for absolutely forever, but I still don't know quite what I'm going to do with this potential adaptive helm, so I just continue to sit on it for the present. All right, anyway, my board is up against the Honeymancer B reroll board, and I don't think that this board is bad, but Nomsy is going to survive on just a little bit amount of health, and that's going to be enough to win this round. Nomsy was on like 5% health for the last 8 seconds of that fight, but I'm going to win the round, and Grillo's going to win the round, and it turns out that our double win is enough to knock out both of the remaining teams, and we're going to go ahead and take the first place. So managed to go on a nice little win streak there at the end of the game. Once I hit the 6 hunters and had the 3 dragons in, my board definitely spiked a lot. And the Giant Slayer was really, really strong on Nomsy on that last round because there were so many 3 stars on the Honeymancer board. The Giant Slayer got really, really good value there, so that was fun. I think I was like 1 or 2 rounds away from capping out my board. I was really close to the Olaf 3-star. We were like 3 rounds away from Grillo being able to send me another Olaf, which would have cinched the Olaf 3-star. And I was really close to hitting Smolder 2-star as well, so I definitely could have gotten even stronger here. Overall, though, it was a fun game. It's always fun to play through an unconventional unit like Nomsy, and this was a good one. So we'll see what we find in this patch. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Until next time then, take care, folks, and I'll see you again soon.